it's just so generic and just feels so good to just say like, I'm drinking from a fire hose, right? Here's another one. I'm going to take it up in the new year. No, you're not. And if you do, you're going to take it up for 7 days, maybe 14 days. Like, who are we kidding? My name is Brian Pannuzzo. I help successful professionals build an elite body and mind without sacrificing work or time with their families. I know your life because I lived it for 20 years. Welcome back to the podcast. This is the Success Lift podcast, and I'm your host, Brian. And happy Thanksgiving week to all of you. This is, in my eyes, the official kickoff of the holiday season. Some people have had their Christmas trees and lights up for the last 3 weeks. Other people won't put it up for another 3 or 4 weeks because you love that last minute stuff. I'm a last minute shopper. I'm not a last minute decorator. We typically decorate in the house right after Thanksgiving. That weekend, usually we have a little bit extra time, although oftentimes in the past we've had like baseball tournaments and stuff. So it's kind of like whenever we have time to do it. But this is like the official start this week. You know, you got Thanksgiving Wednesday, maybe a cold round of golf for my friends in the Northeast if the weather holds up. If not, a nice boozy lunch, nice gentleman's lunch on Wednesday or Friday. You obviously have big Thanksgiving day on Thursday, and you have the weekend, and then we're right into December. Thanksgiving is late this year, and so we're right into December 1st, next Monday, and bang, it's the holidays. It's like officially the holidays. What I thought I would do is talk about some of the more ridiculous things that I hear around this time of year. I've been hearing them over the last month or so. I hear them all the time, quite frankly, in just various different degrees. And so I'm really not picking on any recent conversations that I've had or singling anyone out because somebody may hear this and go, wow, I think he's talking about me. Yeah, I probably am. If you think I'm talking about you, I probably am. When I say you or you think I am, it's a metaphor for you're just like everybody else. And like, that's problem number one, is that you think somehow, some way you have this unique set of circumstances. We're going to talk about next week being drunk on circumstances because I was drunk AF on my own circumstances, but more to come on that next week. But you feel like your life is like this like unique set of situations that no one has ever overcome before. And because of that, you can't have all the things that you've desired to have in your life. And I'm here to look right into the camera and speak right into the microphone and tell you that you are fucking nuts and that you are a unique individual. Your circumstances, right? The things that you say are getting in the way of you having all of the things that you want. When I say things, I mean in many different domains, fundamentals, areas, whatever you want to call them. You are the one who's getting in the way, not these obstacles that you say that you have, because everyone has them. And we'll cover more of them. We'll have a full breakdown of those next week. But what I wanted to talk a little bit about and hopefully like have you tune into some of this language that we use, tune into some of these things that we think and that we say. Because this is prime punting season. We're in the home stretch of the NFL and college season. Everyone knows what a punter is. A punter gets the snap of the ball when the team doesn't want to go for the fourth down, and they take it and they kick it far away. The team basically gives the ball away in hope of getting it back to then score again. And punting is something that human beings are incredibly good at doing. Because why deal with a problem now when you can delay it, when you can handle the repercussions later? Most of my audience knows that actions compound, right? The deposits we make in the bank on a yearly basis, monthly basis, weekly basis, whatever it may be, that compounds. Those actions compound. Our wealth builds because of compound interest. And so does every other area of our life. And so when you are not doing something, when you are punting a decision that you know you should make, and you continue the same negative actions and the same loop that goes on and on. People live the same life every 3 or 6 months of the year. We have these seasons that we go through, right? We're now entering the busiest one we kind of already had, but we're ramping into the busiest part of the year. The holiday season, everyone's going to talk about the holidays and blame the holidays and, oh my God, the holidays and this party and I had to go here and I had to do this. And then you're going to come up for air for like this very brief moment on December 26th. And there's going to be some quiet until the 31st. And many of you know, what are you talking about, Brian? It doesn't last that long. I know it doesn't. But for some people, it might. You might have this small window of time where work is slow. Maybe you're off. Maybe you travel. Lots of my clients travel after Christmas. Lots of them travel for Christmas and they're away for a 2-week stretch. But maybe you're on a little vacay and you can breathe for a little while. And you finally feel like, you know what, this is the right time. The calendar's changing. It's the beginning of January coming up. It's resolution season. And I'm clear-minded. Work's not busy. I can think this through. I'm going to make a decision right now. And so you punt today in order to potentially get the ball back in December, late December, maybe early January, depending on when you start, because nobody really starts on January 1st because that's New Year's. And why would you start on New Year's Day when you could watch football and drink? So we punt in hope of doing it another time at a later date. And to use this football analogy, we do get the ball back. You do go back on offense. The defense does hold. But typically, all that happens is another goddamn 3 and out. And for my non-football fans, that means you don't have the ball for very long. And in this analogy, that means things get busy really, really quickly again. And so this notion of punting makes sense right now because people feel like, here's another common one I'm hearing a lot, I'm drinking from a fire hose. And the last I checked, no firefighters listen to my podcast. And if they do, shout out to all the firefighters and thank you for your service and all the help that you provide your local community. But I'm pretty sure firefighters is not in the top fucking 100 of my professions when you list them out of people who listen to this podcast. And so people love to use these common phrases that make them feel like they're special. And they love to say things like, I'm drinking from a fire hose right now. Now listen, I get it. I lived your life. I have 58 or so, depending on when this podcast drops, other busy professionals, predominantly financial professionals. 72% of my clients right now are financial professionals. Historically, about 75 to 80% of my clients are financial professionals. So when you say that you have this unique set of circumstances that you can't do the things that 57 or 58 other people right now today are doing, that I did in your seat, that hundreds of people who have come through this program before you today, right now, are doing, my eyes roll so far back into the back of my eyelid, my skull, whatever. You can't even imagine how much I'm rolling my eyes at you. Because it's bullshit, okay? You are drinking from a fire hose because you haven't taken the actions to control your circumstances. You continue to, I say this all the time in my company program, you wait instead of create. And that is a classic mistake that a busy professional makes, especially in this season that we're in right now. And one of the main reasons why I wanted to talk into the microphone about this topic this week as we ramp up into Thanksgiving and into the Christmas and New Year holidays. Because it's just so generic and just feels so good to just say I'm drinking from a fire hose, right? Here's another one, I'm gonna take it up in the new year. No, you're not. And if you do, you're gonna take it up for 7 days, maybe 14 days. Who are we kidding? You've been in this place potentially for a decade, for years, 5 years at least, How long have you lived the life you're currently living right now? Not feeling your best, not looking your best, drinking too much, being stressed out, feeling overwhelmed by your calendar, constantly being reactive, not having the connection in your marriage, not having as much sex as you want to, not spending enough quality time with your kids, or constantly feeling like when you are always worried about work. And when you're at work, you're regretful that you're not spending more quality time with your family. How much longer are you going to loop in this cycle? Because that's the loop that I ran for a decade, 15 years if we're being honest, but I didn't have kids for part of it. So for 15 years, I built this machine for myself of feeling constantly overwhelmed, feeling like it was whack-a-mole, left and right and all over the place. And I would try different things here and there as I caught these little moments when I got the ball back after punting and then playing a little bit of defense. And then what happens? Well, in the football analogy, I would get blitzed and I'd get sacked and it would be 3rd and long again. So I would punt again and I would wait till I told myself there was probably a better time. And there's always gonna feel like a better time. Let's be honest. There's always gonna feel like a better time. Because what we say is, another thing we say a lot, when things slow down. When things slow down. How often have things slowed down in the last 20 years of your life? How often have they slowed down long enough for you to do anything meaningful other than just take a break, get a breath, and reset a little bit? And those moments are very important. They're very important for us to be able to disconnect, for us to be able to unplug, for us to be able to recharge. But the battery gets zapped far too quickly because you're waiting for these moments to be able to recharge them for long periods of time. And I'm here to tell you that you need to create systems and processes and structure in your life that constantly recharges the battery. You need to be recharging every single day. You need to look at a week of yours and figure out where you're going to carve out time for yourself and the things that you love and the people that you love and the things that you want to do in order to continue to feed yourself so that you feel like you're making progress. Most of the time, we just go back and play defense for a period of weeks or months or, unfortunately for some people, years. Because we don't have a proper system in place. Because we're relying upon a perfect set of circumstances. And as you know, those circumstances very, very, very rarely exist. They're going to exist maybe for a couple of days at the end of this week when you have holiday time. They're going to appear for a week or so during Christmas. They're going to appear during your summer 2-weeker. But other than that, other than a random 48 hours, 24 hours, maybe 36 or so hours on a long weekend, on a day off, on a dedicated day off that you have, when do conditions ever line up for you to take control of your schedule if you just wait for it? You must create this time. You have to create the time. And you have to do it when you're not motivated to do it. That's another dumbass comment I hear people say all the time. I just need to get more motivated. I just need more discipline. Do you think that I'm motivated to get out of bed at 4:15 in the morning, 4 in the morning, 3:45 in the morning, 4:30 in the morning, whenever it is? I have the same self-talk that you do when I'm in bed, when the alarm goes off or my eyes open up. I don't fly out of bed, ready to attack my day, spitting affirmations out about how grateful I am. I want to get the F back in bed. I'm grateful for my covers and my pillow and my warm bed and laying next to my wife, trying to maybe wake her up every once in a while, even though she's told me not to do that. So I don't. So don't do it either, fellas. Don't wake your wives up in the middle of the night. She's not interested. Not at all. Trust me. I'm not motivated. I'm not motivated to get up. What I have is I have a body of evidence to suggest, and I shouldn't even say suggest, to make it undeniable that if I don't do it, it's stupid. And so what you don't do enough of is build enough evidence so that it becomes an incredibly logical conversation with yourself. See, you're trying to have illogical conversations with yourself when you're half asleep. You're trying to have illogical conversations with yourself when you're on the couch, when there's football on a Saturday afternoon. We all want to default to our comfort zones, whether it be 4:30 in the morning, 5 in the morning, or 3 p.m. on a Saturday, when I would love to crack 6 beers and just not move for the next 6 hours either. But I have a body of evidence that makes it undeniable that if I don't do certain things, that if I do certain things, that I'm going to get results. You don't walk into the office and say things like, you know what, I just need more motivation to work today. You know what I need? I'm just not disciplined enough to work today. Like, I'm just gonna go home because I wish I had discipline, and I just don't. I've told myself I don't, which is a bullshit story. I've told myself I don't have discipline. Like, you have to watch your language. You have to watch some of the things that you say. Your words have power. The fact is that you have displayed characteristics historically of somebody who doesn't have discipline. That does not mean that you are not disciplined. There are many areas of your life where you exercise a tremendous amount of discipline. You show up to work every day. You do things that are required for you to do as a husband and a father. You don't, when your kid, my kids now are at the age of they're calling me for rides, right? My son just got his license a month or so ago. But for the previous few years, and now my 11-year-old's doing the same thing, you get a phone call. Dad, I'm here. Can you pick me up? By the way, they just call you like when they're ready to be picked up. No heads up. Don't give me a heads up. Like just call immediately when you're ready to be picked up, right? That's how it goes with our kids. I don't think about it on the phone and go, you know what? I'm just not motivated to pick you up right now, bro. I'm just, Mila, you know what? Just stay there and just walk home. Cause I'm just not motivated to drive, 15 minutes away and come get you. If I was motivated, I would do it, but I'm just not, I'm just not that disciplined to be able to do that like you do. You see how ridiculous this shit sounds? This is like what we say in other domains of our life. Yet we've fully accepted that we have responsibilities as parents, as spouses, as employees, as CEOs, as leaders, as teammates inside of our company. We wouldn't dare say some of these things, like I've said in previous episodes. You're too afraid of the consequences. So you don't always have to be motivated by desire. You could just be afraid enough of the consequences. So if you're 50 pounds overweight, and when I say that, a lot of you are probably like, I'm not 50 pounds overweight. Well, you might be. If you're 230 pounds and your average height, you're 50 pounds overweight. I know that you might think you only need to lose 15, but you probably need to lose 40 or 50. And that's a different conversation. But my point is that you don't have to get motivated to do certain things. So why do you need to get motivated to eat more grilled chicken or Greek yogurt or walk more or go to the gym a few times a week? That doesn't really require a lot of motivation. It just requires you accepting that these are the necessary things that need to be done in order for you to live a reasonably healthy life. Let's just remove sort of the I want to be elite status, which I hope that you get there by listening and paying attention to me. I want that for you. But if you don't, that's fine. These are basic requirements for you to not be dead at 72, for you to not be 50 pounds overweight. How many people do you see walking around in their 70s that are 50 pounds overweight? There are some for sure. By the way, they're not walking very well. But how many people do you see that are in really, really bad shape at 75 or 80? They die. They die early. So this isn't meant to scare you, but I guess as I say it out loud, maybe it is. Maybe it is to scare you. I know that you're only 45 right now. I know that you're only 42. I know that you're 48, you're 53, whatever. But this shit's gonna come. I have a 16-year-old driving. I remember when he was born. You do too, I would imagine. You remember 10 years ago, like it was that, like that. Gotta work on snapping my fingers better. We remember how quickly this whole thing goes. We are a blip in the radar of the historical evolution of the world. This shit's gonna end real quick for all of us. And so 75, 80 is gonna come quick. And we're kind of on this like cusp, in my opinion, of, from what I understand, I haven't done any deep dive research, but like there's some like pretty crazy shit happening in the longevity and medical space. And like we may live really productive lives into our hundreds if we can just hold on another 20 years. And that might be, this is pure speculation, by the way. I haven't done a ton of research on this, but like it makes a ton of sense to me. If I can go into my 70s, 22 years from now, 22 years. 22 years from now, 22 and change, I'll be 70. That's wild. That's freaking wild. I remember when I was 22, period. Not 22 years from now. And so if I can go into my later years of life being in phenomenal physical shape, by the way, get to still hit bombs on the golf course, get to still enjoy myself, get to still chase my wife around the house. Can't do that if you're broken down and beat up. But if I can hang on, if I can go into this maybe unbelievable transformative era of longevity in medicine and things like that, maybe I will be super productive into my hundreds. Maybe I will get another 30 plus years after the 22 I'm talking about. I might not even be at halftime yet. And that's where we think about these things like, you know, you're 52, you're 8 years away from retiring, and like you just have this like thought process, you're gonna be put out the fucking pasture. Like, what are we doing? The best years of your life are still ahead of you. And so just like watch your language. I'm gonna keep this one short. I am gonna wrap this up quickly. Watch your language, man. Like, you're not gonna take it up in the new year. Like, yeah, you might consider it. You might have a thought process about it. You might actually do it for a week. But like, by definition, if you are unwilling to start something when you are drinking from a fire hose, when you are as busy as you possibly can be, which is maybe now, maybe it was a week ago, and you know what? It will be in another 2 weeks. What does that say about the next series of chaos in your life, which is coming? It is coming soon, very, very soon. It means that you've already set the standard that when things get crazy, you will not do what is required. And that means that at best, you're just going to flip-flop back and forth. At best. That means at best you get 0 results. Most likely that means you continue to, in a small way, but continue to compound negatively. Because if you look at where you are right now, you likely were just a little bit better last year, and you were a little bit better than that the year before, and so on and so forth. And compounding gets more and more expensive as we go. There's more and more leverage as we go. And all of a sudden, that 1, 3, 5, 10-year compounding is going to start to ramp. It is going to spiral. And it can spiral for you, or it can spiral against you. And I'm living proof that if you just put your goddamn head down and start to take action, that you can pick it up a decade later, 10 years later. I am 10 years into a transformation in my life. Now, this happened in multiple stages, but I'm 10 years in. And I never could look into this camera 10 years ago and tell you that I was ever going to be in better shape than I was in my late 20s, early 30s, mid 30s. I'm not in as good a shape as I was when I was 21. I was a college athlete. I was an absolute tank. But like, I ain't far off of it. I ain't far off. My physical capabilities are not that far off. At 40, almost 48 years old, 27 years after being a senior in college, playing scholarship basketball, being an all whatever player, I was good. I was in the best shape of my life. But I don't really talk about that stage of my life anymore because I'm not Al Bundy. And remember when is the lowest form of conversation. I'm interested in today and I'm interested in tomorrow, and I'm interested in the next decade, not the previous one. And although it may feel really shitty where you're at right now, trust me, I know. I had this moment 10 plus years ago when I was 37, when my life blew up on me. See, my negative compounding really spiraled quickly. It was happening for 15 years in my 20s into my mid to late 30s, and it accelerated on me like that. And I felt like it hit me like real quick, because it did. And it'll hit you too. I don't know if it's going to hit you this year. I don't know if it's going to hit you next year. I don't know if it's going to be 5 years from now, but I know it will. I can say that with 100% certainty, unless you start to do something about it. And I hope in some way you hear this and you at least start to think about it. Best case scenario, it pushes you into action. With me, cool. Without me, awesome. I just want you to do it. I honestly just want you to do it. I don't have a lot of room in my program for a lot of new people. And so I'm pretty sure the amount of people that listen to this would, if everyone was like, that's a great story, Brian, I'm taking action, I'd like to hire you. I couldn't handle all of you anyway. So go find somebody else. Go do it on your own. Go develop your own accountability group. But do something. Do something. And if it's not working, do something else. I would advise you, highly, highly advise you, to get help from somebody who's been there, from somebody who's walked your walk, who sat in your seat, literally or even figuratively, because there are some amazing, amazing coaches out there that have never worked inside of corporate America. I have. That's my experience. That's my expertise. That's my edge. Knowing your life better than anybody else. That's 100% true. I can say that. But there are so many great coaches and programs out there. I want you to go find one and do something. There are 41 days or so left in the year, if you're watching this or listening to this on November 24th. Do you know how much progress you can make in 41 fucking days? Do you know what your life could look like in 40 days? It can be dramatically different. Your problems will not all be solved, but they can be dramatically different. I have guys who go all in with me and they're down 15 pounds in 20 days. Now, a lot of that is low-hanging fruit, and they don't continue to make that type of progress. But how would you feel if you were down 12 pounds on January 1st and got through a holiday season? Shit, for some of you, how would you feel just not gaining 5 pounds in December and feeling like you've again put a hole in your liver on January 1st? For some guys, that's a huge win. Do something. Take some action. We don't want to drink from a fire hose, all right? If you keep telling yourself you're going to take it up in the new year, I promise you you're not. You're just not. Research will back that up on me, for me, all right? When things slow down, like they're never going to slow down. So just deal with it. Figure it out. Customize a plan for you that works during your busiest times of life. That's what programs like mine does. That's what great programs do. That's what great coaches do. They ride shotgun with you in your car as you're driving. We can't drive. You have to drive the car, but we help you with the turn-by-turn directions along the way. And when you're about to drive that mother effer into a ditch, we take the wheel and we jerk it back the other way and we put you on the road. We slap you in the face. We tell you to wake up and keep going. That's what great coaching does. I'm wishing you an unbelievably amazing Thanksgiving. I'm grateful, because this is a season of gratitude. I'm grateful for you listening to me. I'm grateful for you tuning in. I'm grateful for you being here over the last 5+ years of this journey for me. I want to thank you. Have a great holiday. I'll see you back here next week in December. Take care. Have a great holiday. See you soon.